Hey everyone, my name is Rachel Surwitz and I am the founder of WOKEN and I am a career coach. So if you find yourself hesitating before diving into career work or just want to ease yourself into your productive career working session, I have a few helpful reminders and we're going to do a guided meditation today to help you ease in and feel comfortable getting started with your career efforts today. So find a nice posture. You're welcome to close your eyes. Find a nice position that you can sit in. And I want to just start with a few reminders that any and all effort is progress. Any and all effort is progress forward. Remember that career efforts are very much a winding road. They're not a linear path. Any movement forward is good. Even if you determine there's something you don't like out there and you refine your direction, even a no is helpful because we can learn from it. Remember, you don't have to apply to a job right now, or you don't even have to reach out to someone from a networking perspective if you're nervous. But there is legwork that you can do that is productive. You could brainstorm new connections or research new connections without yet reaching out. You could draft up an email and send it to your coach or your mentor or a peer for feedback without sending that email out just yet. Even if you do send these things out, great. Remember that networking is just learning from someone, and they wouldn't answer you unless they were open to helping. You could research and learn more about your target roles and industries. You could look into upskilling options without yet signing up, but just learn more about what is out there. You could journal and reflect on how you're feeling and what's interesting to you or what's concerning to you or what's holding you back. Any reflections are good and helpful. You could reflect on what you already know or what you still want to learn about and questions that you have as it relates to your intended direction. You could write a journal or a note to your coach to express questions that you have if something is making you feel stuck or hesitant before you pursue your next steps. You might consider signing up for a co-working session to allow yourself to focus. You might consider your physical environment to find a space that will allow you to focus. And you might consider your posture or doing some light body movement to increase your ability to focus. Let's take a few deep breaths to let this all sink in and remember that there's so many ways of being productive, to take stock of where you're at, to organize yourself. And remember, that's another thing you could even spend time doing is just organizing your to-do list, your next steps, your calendar, any spreadsheets that you have. Any amount of planning, strategy, or organization is another very useful and totally okay activity that might help you feel more ready to dive back into the work. So let's take those deep breaths together. What else can you remind yourself to ease yourself into this productive working session? What can you tell yourself to remember that there's a way of being productive, but also making it feel comfortable? And if certain activities do require a little bit of courage or vulnerability, what can you tell yourself to remind yourself that utilizing those traits might feel a little uncomfortable, but what's the worst that might happen? What can you tell yourself that even though those feelings might be hard, that they might be also okay to tap into? They might be beneficial. What else can you remind yourself before you ease into this working session? Remember, you can just take 5 or 10 or 15 minutes and start really small. And feel free to use any of the suggestions here today about what might be a great next step forward, even if it's just reflecting and journaling or a little research. What can you do in a very small way today? Let's set one very small goal for what it is you can do as your next immediate step that feels feasible and manageable. And sometimes we set that goal in a way that feels too big. So let's break it down. What is the most minute next step that is doable in the next 15 minutes? And you can always expand from there. But what can you get done in the next 5 or 10 or 15 minutes? And of course, feel free to go through this again. I know I went through a lot of different ideas and suggestions, but as you know, reach out if I can be at all helpful. And just remember that any and all effort is good.